Welcome everyone. This is Turn Your Interviews into Cash the Fast Track Way. I'm Ann Devere of GVN TV.
I'm Lori Morgan Ferrero of Red Hot Copy.
And today we are going to walk you through turning your videos into cash. And to begin with, we're going to talk about some of the common mistakes people make when auditioning to get on a talk show or to get on any TV show. So there's a lot of great information we're going to be sharing with you. We have 4 episodes coming your way.
4 episodes coming your way, and what I wanted to mention was the way this came about was because of the audition tapes, audition videos that we've been receiving for GVN TV. And there have been some good stuff and then some mistakes, and we really wanted everyone to have like the best possible audition video possible. So we wanted to highlight what some of the mistakes are, that they're little tweaks that you can fix for your own audition videos.
Absolutely. So a lot of great things coming your way. Stay tuned. This is episode 1 of 4. Okay, here we go. Okay. The first thing we want you to know is you can have your own talk show, wherever you are right now. You can begin with broadcasting your own talk show. You can have it on YouTube. You can have it on Facebook, Google Hangout, or cable TV, internet TV, web TV, all over. Even network television, you can get to it if you put together a great and powerful TV show, okay? That you have to get everything in place. The programming has to be there, and you need to know how to show up great on camera, and that's what we're going to be covering with you today. Okay, so the story starts with me years ago with this whole, how does everything, I'm not, okay.
How the power of video, Ann, tell us how that happened for you. What was the light bulb?
Yeah, there we go. The planting of the seed. Basically, I walked into my doctor's office, it was about 16 years ago, and walked in there, and I was preparing to have surgery, and the same people seemed to be in that office every single time I went in there, because this particular doctor is a world-renowned surgeon. So only the most difficult cases came to him. So we had to go through, several appointments before we got there. So that's how I got to know most of the people that were there. So wonderful. One time I walked in at this amazing day that changed my life, actually. Walked in there and I see this a whole different atmosphere. I'm looking at some of the people were just sitting there with a look of pride on their faces, looking at this, TVs, and there were these others that were like leaning over, glued to the TV. And I was like, what is going on? Then when I looked up, it was my doctor on TV. Then I became one of the people with the pride and joy. My chest kind of pepped up. So what was the big deal? Well, he was being interviewed on The View because he had just, performed LASIK surgery on Lisa Ling. That's what the big deal was. Now, here's the important part. What does this have to do with you? Well, here's what happened. Once I walked in there and I said, hey, Doc, that's pretty nice. You're over there. How is that working out for you? Everybody's glued to the TV. He said, Ann, people don't ask me stupid questions anymore. I don't have to prove myself anymore. Everybody comes in and says, can you get me in? So, Lori, you know about positioning, and, you totally there.
Yep, exactly. So he let that speak for him, even though he was already a world-renowned doctor. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, his credentials are just, off the charts. But being on TV once made all the difference as far as people questioning.
That's what's funny. A lot of doctors' credentials are off the charts. A lot of people have amazing backgrounds, but until you get that little edge, people don't see you.
Absolutely. So, and this is what today is all about. It's about you finding the special things about you and positioning yourself at a higher level. And I can tell you, what we're giving you right now is going to position you way higher than you are already, which is showing up on camera, being interviewed, as well as interviewing others. So grab lots, a few pieces of paper. Actually, you'll be needing it, or you're going to be typing away. So get ready.
Definitely.
So moving on, this is something I hope it's going to grab your attention right away. Did you know that right now you are literally surrounded by the media? You are. Every day you're interacting with them. Are you getting interview requests? If not, it could be because you're not putting your videos out there so they don't see you, or you're not putting the information out there in a way that's desirable for the media. So this is literally, this could change your life today, what we're going to be sharing with you, because it's all about how you put together audition videos that grab attention and how to put yourself out there in a way that builds credibility as opposed to taking away from your credibility because you're not showing up as powerful. So, well, this is all about how to get to media, not just to like you, but absolutely love you. And I'm going to give you a couple of things, example to you, so it builds our credibility. You know, why should you listen to us? You know, what am I bringing to the table? What is Lori bringing to the table? You know, in case you don't know us already. So.
It's a fair question. People want to know.
Yes, absolutely. So the first example I want to share with you, the information that we are going to be giving you today gets this result. As a matter of fact, if you're looking at the screen, we can even read it for you. Lori, you have a great voice. I love the way you read it. Would you like to read this testimonial?
Yes, I would love to read it. Thank you for saying that, by the way. So here it is. Quote, "We took the high-quality video interview that Ann produced for us and used a special process to put it up on YouTube. It quickly ranked to #1 on my keyword. But what's really exciting is this. It has stayed at the top of YouTube for over 3 years now." That was Mark Harris, Thought Leadership Evangelist. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Well, here's the thing that made this really special. We actually did 3 things for this video to have that kind of effect. Number 1, we identified a particular niche, the most profitable customer, where he wanted to actually go in and expand. And by the way, Mark Harris, he is the thought leader behind the thought leaders. He is very well known in the higher up circles, but he was not widely known to the average person, and he wanted to skyrocket his visibility. You know, expand his global visibility. So that's the first thing we do. We identify the niche. And that's important because we got to know who we're talking to, right? So the second thing we did is we created it in an interview style. It wasn't just any video. It was an interview video. We took him into a TV studio and we conducted an interview with him on how to become a thought leader. So interview, you elevate your expert status automatically, you know, instantly. Because who gets interviewed on TV?
Celebrities? Experts?
Absolutely. So if you're being interviewed on TV, automatically your expert status is elevated in a global marketplace. So the third thing we did is the content. The content was educational. We talked about some of the misconceptions about becoming a thought leader, some of the mistakes people make when positioning themselves as a thought leader. So those 3 things combined have put them at the top of YouTube for over it's about 4 years now, actually. So how cool is that? This is very powerful information. So, you know, just pay very close attention because you can do that with what we're teaching you. Okay, so next I want you to see something else. It's not just getting on YouTube. What we're teaching you can actually get you on television. Kyriakos Zouris is one of our clients who attended our TV interview mastery to learn how to get himself out there. Now, what happened was he actually started putting it into work. He followed the instructions we gave him. He created, you know, short 3-minute videos of him, you know, being interviewed on a topic. Like you can be interviewed anywhere, and just one time you're being interviewed on a topic. And if you are delivering great content, once you're on one TV show, the others want you as well. And you see this happening all the time, you know. So there he goes. I mean, he's all over. He even got to be a commentator for our president there. So, I mean, how cool is that? Okay?
Very cool. And once they start interviewing you, the other media outlets want you to, right? And you can tell the roles.
Absolutely, it does, because, you know, especially if you're good, everybody's watching. You know, one channel is watching what's happening with the other channel, you know. So, oh, he's good. Let's get him on ours. And that's how it works. Everybody wants you if you're good. And what's good? You deliver great content that's of value to their audience. That's their main purpose for having you there. They're delivering information. They want people to come back to that channel over and over again. They want to be known for great content. So, having said that, the other component that's crucial coming into this is about you showing up in a very powerful way on video. And we have Lori, bringing you the experience of, being on TV. So go for it, Lori.
Well, it's funny because most people know me as a copywriter from Red Hot Copy. I've been doing that for over a decade, and at the top of my game, world-class copywriter, if I do say so myself, the top female copywriter in the information marketing industry. But before that happened, my first job and my first love was acting. In fact, that's why I moved out to Los Angeles, Anne. I'm not sure if you knew that, but that's what brought me out here. And this is home now. I came out here from college. I got a degree in journalism in North Carolina. And then I hightailed it out to California to be a movie star. I didn't quite go that way, but what did happen was I took hundreds and hundreds of hours of acting class. I went on auditions for commercials, for movies, for TV shows. I was actually on Baywatch for a summer. It was background, but trust me, it was super fun, and I learned so much. So at any rate, this new era of video on the internet has really rekindled that love for me again, the love of performing and the love of bringing another dimension to words, like your body language, your voice, your just your essence comes through the camera, and it's just and I have to thank you for bringing me back into this and just going, hey, look, video is everywhere. You have this background, and just the more I started looking back at it, it just literally, it was like a rebirth. It's been super fun, so I want to thank you for that, honestly.
Well, you are very welcome as far as that goes. I just saw the brilliance in you for one thing. You are, as far as I'm concerned, and by many others who join me in sharing this in this statement, is that you are the best female copywriter in the world. It's just and that's what attracted me to you in the first place, to make my program more powerful. So when the two of us got together, this is where Turn Your Interviews into Cash was born.
Right.
So yeah, thank you. And also by the way, you absolutely look great, and I don't know how you've done it, but you don't seem to have aged a bit. And
oh, please. Thank you. I appreciate it though. I was noticing the 80s hair that with the wind blowing it back. I wish someone would walk around with a fan like that all the time, and with airbrushing. Trust me, there's some background stuff that goes on to make you look amazing. But what I noticed, why I wanted to bring this up, was because a lot of people don't really know that I have a performance background, and as we were watching these audition videos, and it brought up a lot of memories of things that I had done on my own auditions that came to light again. So it's even more exciting that we're sharing mistakes that people can correct on their own audition videos.
No, absolutely. So we'll be sharing a lot of what we've been looking at, because well, everything is going to come up for you as we go. Each one. We have each point that we're making. So let's move on. And by the way, the one I was talking about, the photo of you on Baywatch, that's the one where you haven't aged a day, and I know. So I see a whole another program here on how to stay ageless.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay.
It's so funny.
So as Lori was talking about, we have been we've been watching a lot of audition videos. We're launching GVN TV, the Global Visibility Network, with multiple, internet web TV channels. And so it was, interestingly enough, the videos that are coming in, only audition videos. Well, we're looking for guest experts, we're looking for citizen reporters, video tip providers, as well as show hosts. So you can imagine the variety of audition videos that are coming in. And so what we noticed, that they were basically some things that, a lot of the mistakes were common, so we put it together, and we wanted to share with you what are the things we're looking at when we are watching those audition videos, because it would be very helpful for you, and for you to have this information if you want to audition for us or for any TV show.
For any show.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. We're sharing with you the top 5 mistakes people make. Oh, where did it go?
It disappeared.
No, where did it go?
There it goes. It's
okay, it's a delayed.
So can we set this up, Ann? Like when usually we get a link, correct, or possibly an emailed video, and then we open it up, and then boom, then go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is the first step, pretty much wherever you audition, if you're auditioning online, you go online, you fill out a form, and you send a link to your audition video. And the producers click on that link, and based on what they see on that video, they're evaluating. Each one of us, we have our own system, but most of what we're looking for is very common. So the first thing we do is the thing that jumps out at us. That's the first thing we look at, which is the video quality. And in that, go for it, Lori.
Well, you want to make sure that you can be heard. There's not a lot of background noise. You don't have fans in the background or dogs barking, and those things do happen. But for your audition video, you want to make sure that you have it as close to high quality as possible. Your backdrop should be not cluttered, and don't have like the bathroom door open behind you. There's little things that a lot of times people really don't think about. And when we see them on video, it's like, really? Come on, you can't. You've got to think about the most basic things, and think of this camera is seeing everything, but just not with peripheral vision. But it's not as forgiving as somebody who walks in your office and sees, a pile of books and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very important. The first thing you want to do is make sure your video is coming across the way you would be presenting. Okay, remember, we're looking at you as an internet TV content provider. So if you don't have a video set up, in a way that's, attractive to the viewer, it's not set up in a professional setting, it doesn't look clean, right off the bat, we're like, okay, there is a problem here. So you definitely want to take a look at that. Your audio quality needs to be good. Now, granted, we know that with internet today, there's all kinds of challenges that come up with broadcasting. So we know that. And that the webcams that work great 1 minute because of the internet connection, and people are maybe on Wi-Fi, all kinds of things happen. So we do take those things into consideration, but there are certain things that are just a must, and we will be sharing those with you as well. So the next thing we look at is your appearance. So right after we get the quality of the video, the next visual that comes at us is how you look on camera.
And not that you have to be a model or anything. Trust me, we're not going there, right, Ann?
Absolutely not. We're looking for the average person.
Right.
It's about you coming across confident and comfortable and appealing.
Exactly.
Now we look at what you're wearing. So if you if you're talking about travel, wearing a Hawaiian shirt is great. But if you're talking about stock investments, Hawaiian shirt may not be, unless you're saying, well, this is where you spend your vacation. So, no.
Exactly.
So, okay, that's the second thing we'll look at. And the third thing, I need a sip of water.
Yes.
Go for it, Lori. This is yours.
This is my baby, the content. And what are you saying? What is your message? And are you hooking us in? What is your tip or the body and your call to action? What do you want me to do when I watch this video? That's an important piece a lot of people miss, just FYI. We're going to go into some greater detail about all this, and storytelling as well. But it's very important. You don't just turn on a camera and make a video, unless you're doing something for YouTube that's, like you're falling or crashing into something. I don't know. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about real video with content.
Absolutely. So that, by the way, Lori is going to go in depth in episode 2.
Correct.
Putting together your content, your hook, the body, and your call to action. So you get the results that you're looking for. Okay, so it's all about mesmerizing your audience with your words, and then you want to gain their trust with your brilliance. So it's very, very important.
Okay.
So in this episode, we're teaching you how to make the camera love you. It's about looking and sounding your best on camera. So that's episode 1. Right now, the one we're on, right after we get, done with the overview of, who we are, why you're here and joining us, and
Exactly.
gaining your trust, okay? So then we're going
Right.
to go, the fourth thing that we do look at is the body language. It's about your energy and, how you sit, how you come across. And Lori, this is also yours. You have a great deal of knowledge in showing up on camera, so you're enticing.
Yes. Well, we're going to cover all that in detail in a few minutes here, actually.
Yes, we are. A lot of good stuff coming up your way. And finally,
Vocal quality, how you sound, your pacing, your rhythm, the inflection, and using a natural voice instead of, a lot of people don't like the way they sound. We're going to get into that too, so trust me. And I know there's a lot of qualities that we look at. We're not looking for perfectionism, so don't feel, too much pressure. We just want to let you know the overview of what makes a really good audition video.
Absolutely, and like we said already, we're going to cover all points today, except for point number 3, the content, which is in episode 2.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
You need a lot of time.
Yes, we do. So the other 4 points we're going to be covering today. So just keep watching, and just so you know what's coming up after the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 is all about turning your interviews into cash. It's about strategically planning to monetize every video that you create and get it out there, every interview you conduct. And episode 4 is using your trifactor, and this is a formula that gives you everything you need to produce your own TV show and then turn it into cash. So there's a whole component in it. Those are the 4 episodes we're going to be covering. So
I'm excited about the trifactor, Ann. I'm sorry that a lot of people don't understand what that is, as I know that's a proprietary thing that you've created, and it's really powerful. So I want to give you kudos for that one.
Thank you. I just love it. I love systems, and I love it when everything falls into place.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, making it easy for people. So let's get on, because we have a lot of content to deliver right now. So first thing we want to do is, again, we want to go into showing you what to do to produce good video. So we're going to break it all down, the points that we just talked about. So the first thing you want to do is have a decent quality webcam. Okay. Now you can get really fancy with cameras. You don't need to start with that. You can easily, get something that's comfortable. You can buy a camera anywhere from, basically $69 to $199. And Logitech webcams are a really good bet. You're going to find something, and you must say, Lori, you're a Mac person. I'm a PC, and
right.
Sometimes it's a challenge, isn't it, with their webcams?
With Mac especially, and I'll tell you, I have learned a lot about cameras and Mac. Mac has its own built-in cameras. A lot of PCs do as well, but they're not as good quality as a third-party one. They're not as clear, and unfortunately, Mac has made it very difficult to find a compatible camera. Logitech makes a couple of them, but you've got to really do your research. PC is not as it's not as challenging, but I have to tell you, I've used Logitech. I've had a PC before, and I still have one in storage. No offense to PC users, but at any rate, Logitech has been doing it a long time, and they kind of have it down to a system. I trust them. They have very good tech support and a really good quality camera across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next thing that you need is a decent headset, and I can tell you the Sennheiser over the ear headset is like $29 to like $34. You can find it online, and that's what I'm using right now. By the way, it's this small, and it literally hooks up over the ear, and you can go in either side, because it flips over. So left ear, right ear, whatever you like. Okay, so it's easy to do, and you know you can even hide it with your hair if you want.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's easy enough to have the quality video and audio, and the backdrops and all that. We're not going to really get into it right now, but just be mindful so you have a clean, clear background.
Clean. Exactly. You don't have to go and lighting. Actually, Anne, would you speak to lighting really quickly, because I think that's a very important thing we see a lot of issues with.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so lighting, again, you can get complicated, you can make it very complicated, or you can make it very simple. If you go online, there are light kits available for under $200, even under $100, with umbrella lights, box lights, or you can, if you have the room to have, a set that you can leave on a permanent home studio, you can go to Home Depot and buy a silver cone construction light. They're like $7.50.
Right.
And then you buy, yeah, then you buy a light bulb. Make sure it's daylight. Okay, daylight is the key.
Not fluorescent, daylight.
Well, no, it is fluorescent.
Oh, it is fluorescent, not not
the
halogen. Is that
the
right?
temperature, yeah, no, not halogen, right? The halogen, you'll be dying of heat. It gets very hot. No, you want to have fluorescent, but you want to have the temperature in daylight. So you have a nice glow about you. And so you want to get 4 of them at least. So this way you want 2, 1 above each one, and then you want 2 in front of you. So this way you have a nice definition so you're not flat up against a wall or wherever you're sitting. So that's very important. You do these things, you're going to be in good shape.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So next we're doing hair and makeup.
Your hair and makeup. Now, this isn't a place where you have to worry a whole lot about it, but you definitely want to look your best. So there are lots more tricks than I could possibly even go through here. But let's just start with your hair. Of course, you want it styled, whether you're a man or a woman. But one of my favorite tricks that I learned from the acting days was when you're getting your picture taken and when you're on video, is to take hairspray and, like, here, I'm going to demonstrate. Watch this. Put it on. We have little broken hairs on the top of our head. When you're walking around in daylight, nobody cares. Nobody notices. But when you're on camera and you're lit, people see them. And so if you just like pat them down, and they look smoother and not distracting. Guys too. It's not just for women. As far as your makeup goes, there's a gazillion tips, but I'll tell you a couple of my favorite ones. One of them that actually, Anne, I learned at one of your events from your makeup artist, is to use a very light-colored eyeshadow. You can see I have, like, it's a rose pink almost. It's not something I would wear every day, but it looks really good on camera because it makes your eyes bright and pop. What I would wear every day would be like a brown eyeshadow because I have fair skin and I want my eyes to show up. However, that makes your eyes look really dark and recessed on camera. It's not what you want. So go with a really light shadow, ladies. And men and women, powder is your friend, whether you get it from CVS or from MAC or any of those beauty supply stores, anything. It doesn't really matter. But what powder does is it sets your makeup, it takes the shine off, and it blends everything so it's got a nice appearance instead of shines and whatever. So those are some of my favorite tricks. Also, stay away from the sparkly stuff. I love sparkly stuff. Doesn't look good on camera. You want to stick with some matte colors.
Absolutely. Great tips. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, so next we take a look at your wardrobe. A lot of people are confused about how to look on camera. Well, the question that you want to ask is, what does your audience expect you to wear? How do they expect you to look? So then where you want to go with that is really identify your own style and integrate the two. So if you are like a casual kind of guy and you're, you're a professional, you may want to dress in, casual, like, the picture is right there. Let me bring that up again. You may want to wear your jeans with a shirt and a jacket. It's very common now. Or if you're, let's say, in the financial industry, your audience does expect you to wear the three-piece suit because it's, builds more credibility, it builds trust, but it does have to merge and mesh with your own style.
Exactly. I remember, Ann, do you remember when I would go to all those live events and wear my cowboy hat for?
Yes, absolutely. I looked for it.
Well, that was one of the pluses of it, I have to say, is I was very identifiable. No matter where I was in the crowd, people could find me. So I sort of branded myself with that by accident, and for several years I couldn't get rid of it. And I wanted to I like my hair. I like to show my hair sometimes. It's nice to, once you wear a hat, you're committed to wearing a hat. You can't take it off. So I was like, well, come on, I don't want to wear a hat every time. So it took me a long time to break out of that. However, if I were doing videos now, I would absolutely be, if that was still in my brand, let's say, because I am doing videos, but I would absolutely be using that to establish my brand even further, as an example.
The big question is, when is the hat coming back?
No.
It's been a while.
It took way too long to get rid of it.
Oh, well, I don't know. I see another one coming up in the future. Maybe a Christmas present. I don't know.
Oh, I have them. Trust me, I do. Maybe I'll wear one on one of our videos for fun.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay, so moving on with the show. Let's see now. We have, here's a great tip for you. If you're at all torn, as far as what to do, you can get online and look for Dress for Success. They have Dress for Success for all kinds of industries now. So you can find the style that really matches yours.
That's cool. I didn't know that, Ann, actually.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Make sure that you're in sync, with what you are. Again, just to give you a great example, how would you feel if your plumber showed up at the door wearing a three-piece suit?
I think he's overcharging me.
Yeah, or where's the worker? Because you can't be the one who's going to fix it, right? You look behind your shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah, total disconnect. Absolutely. So, again, be very mindful of that. And the thing that you want to look at, I want to make another point before we go to the vocal.
Yes.
Yeah. So, two colors to avoid, if at all possible, is wearing solid black or solid white. And here's the reason why. They kind of blend. The definition, disappears because of the quality, especially webcam. It just kind of the quality is kind of reduced, so it would be easier download, so people are able to watch it. But it also turns black into a big black dot, if you will, or a patch of black on you. So the color definition disappears. And the same thing with white, so be careful with that. If you absolutely have to use it, you can, but you can replace a white shirt with a light blue shirt, for example, and it works beautifully.
Yes, another thing about white is it's hot. So the tones don't, the camera doesn't really know what to do. It's trying to even the tones out, and it really messes up the entire appearance.
Yes, it does, and it may give you colors that you don't really want on your face.
Yeah, right.
And the other thing that you want to stay away from are stripes and or even animal prints like zebra, because what happens is they start to move on camera. The lines start to move, and it's very distracting. So don't stay away from those big old holiday prints and things like that too. So if you want to wear like Rudolph, because it's Christmas time, well, what happens with that? You can't even use that same one in July. So you want to make sure your videos are evergreen, because your content is absolutely fabulous, but you don't want to time your videos.
Right. That's a great point.
Yeah. So let's move on, because there's a really important part coming up right now. There we go.
The vocals. I love my voice. All right, I'm going to tell you that I don't love my voice, and that it took
And I
me
think it's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I've come to terms with it. I'll tell you that. When I first started doing teleseminars, or even in acting, but it was really, I noticed it more in teleseminars because the voice carries all the content. So when I would listen back to myself, I would be like, I don't sound like that. That's terrible. And what I realized, actually, I never knew this before, but I learned from your husband, Michael, and that the way we don't sound like we sound to other people, to ourselves, but if you were to push your ears closed and talk, that's how other people hear you. Now, whether that's an improvement or not, I don't know, but nevertheless, your voice is your voice, and I've come to terms with this is how I sound, and it's actually, it's okay. You're lucky that I'm not going to sing for you, okay? I would never do that to you. I love you too much. But when you're going to do an audition video or any sort of video, you want to warm your voice up beforehand. And so this is one of my favorite little exercises. It's fun. It also loosens you up, like for a performance. It's called the exercise. And so what you do is you kind of put in front of you these little like little popcorn floating around in the air, and then you're going to grab them with your mouth and go and you're just going to bite them and say the sound, because the sound is the one sound that gets your voice to the most natural level that there is. And so you won't be like, I remember also when I would do live seminars, my voice would be way up here, and then I would be exhausted because I wasn't talking more, using more diaphragm, and really being relaxed, having a relaxed, well-paced delivery. It makes such a huge difference, because you're going to, if you're speaking up here, you're really like nervous or talking too fast, people are not going to follow you. You're going to lose them, and they're not going to connect with you, and you don't want that. So definitely do take a couple of minutes to warm your voice up and to warm your energy up.
Yeah.
You want to add anything?
Well, that's something I always have to be conscious of, because I have a tendency to speak fast and my voice goes up and I get excited. So know your natural style, then you can compensate for it. So, I remind myself, breathe, diaphragmatic breathing, and it does bring the voice down, it calms down, and I speak much slower like I'm doing right now, so it's really relaxed, so it's very important. But
on the other side, you don't want to bring it down too far, so you almost have to lift your energy up and then bring your voice down.
Yes. And this is something that comes in, as you go. You'll find your natural place with both. So let's see. We are on the move, and we have body language.
Speaking of energy, right?
Yes, absolutely. So your energy. Now, this is something that all of us, first, you have to be mindful of your natural energy level. Are you more on a relaxed, laid-back kind of person, or are you very hyper going? So once you know your natural style, you want to be able to come to a place where you like the way you come across on camera. If you're way too relaxed, talking really slow, and your body language, it looks boring. You're going to lose people's interest. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that the camera diffuses your energy, so it's at least 30%. So, kind of bring it up and just get excited, be more animated, and expect to feel a little bit over the top internally. But when you watch the playback, when you watch the video yourself, you'll see, oh, that was actually pretty good. So this is something you'll have to practice. Lori, anything you want to add to that?
No, you're right on with that. That's I can't stress it enough that the camera diffuses your energy. I've looked back at video that I've done in the past, and I thought I was just, all hyper and excited, and I listened to it, and it was flat. So you really want to be mindful to kick it up a couple notches before you start taping, or recording, rather.
Yeah, great point. you know, all of this, by the way, just practice makes perfect. Okay.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
actors
yes.
actors have been to taking acting lessons. Like, you know, Lori said for years she was going for, you know, lessons and all of these things people learn, and we're shoving you here. Let me just go. We are shoving you into show business. We are taking the expert next door and saying, "Here you go, spotlight," shoving you onto the stage and blinding you with the lights, exposing you to the world. Well, that's scary, you know.
It can be.
It
Yeah.
can be, yeah, and so it's okay to be nervous. Remember that with anything else, it's about practicing so you can feel comfortable with who you are, the way you sound, and what you do. The more comfortable you are, the easier it's going to be for you to connect with the audience on the other side. Okay, the easier it's going to be for you to make the camera love you and make your audience connect with you and love you. Okay, so everything goes back to you being yourself. So let's see, what do we have on the next point? Your gestures. So, Lori, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Well, here's the thing. You are in a box, right? So you're not going to be able to do a whole lot of things that are wild and crazy. However, first of all, when people can see your hands, that's a plus because psychologically that builds trust. So I'm not sure what they think you're doing with your hands, but when they can see them, that's a plus. And you don't have to have them like in your face all the time, but it's good to use them. Watch politicians, right? Watch how they use their hands all the time, or talk show hosts or sportscasters, people who are on the TV or on the big screen. They are using this little box and making gestures that, you know, highlight and accentuate what their points are. But you don't want them to be, you know, you don't want, this is where practice makes perfect. You don't want them to be stiff and stilted. But you do only have a small amount of area that people are seeing, so you are going to have to probably, you may not be used to raising your hands closer to your face like this when you're making a point, but you're going to have to just practice with the camera on. And you're the one who taught me that. That's the best way to do it, is watch yourself on camera and start getting comfortable. At first you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and erase, erase, erase. And then pretty soon you'll start going, okay, I'm getting in the groove of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I just moved my chair back a little bit to say, well, you
That's a
can
good
actually
idea.
move further. You can move further out, and
Right.
you know, the good thing about being further out, you know, the camera is not up in your face, and you can actually have your gestures. You have your boxing. You know, you can, and but the other thing is, if you're interviewing other people, you want to be mindful. Like, you know, right now you know, our sizes, you know, how we look on camera is very different. So I will be moving my chair closer. And by the way, do not use swivel chairs because you get nervous. You kind of tend to go like this, and that's, you
Okay.
know, that's not good.
That's a good
And
point.
oh, usually it's like I will hit the lever on my swivel chair so it doesn't move. You know, if I remember, sometimes I forget.
I didn't know there was a lever.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
well, you know, because you're so comfortable on camera, Lori, it hasn't made a difference. But people, you know, especially in the beginning, they get nervous, and the first thing we want to do is start moving, and you know,
Yeah,
so
and that's very
yeah,
distracting, and it's also it really reduces your credibility, because how am I going to trust you if you're my doctor and you're going like, well, this, and you know, then you have to come in and be checked out. You know, you want to be firm and front and center.
absolutely. So, and we move on with posture. Okay. Well, this one is basically here. You want to be sitting as straight as possible. You want to
Shoulders
have your
back.
shoulders back. And I am terrible with posture. I get a little bit too relaxed. But the thing is that if you are sitting with your shoulders back, you know, your chest, you know, is upright, and you're breathing a lot easier, and you look a lot more confident and competent, which makes a big difference, you know, for the audience. And
Correct.
yeah, so I know you have some things you want to add to this because you always sit so beautifully and just come across, you know. There you go. See that your gestures are so natural.
Thank you. I have to confess that I also had years of ballet when I was younger, and it really took, like, as far as posture goes, I am a posture freak all the time. So I'm not really a normal person when it comes to that. I tend to always lift my diaphragm up and to have my shoulders back. And as a little bonus for you, when you're off camera and you do that, you look taller, thinner, more confident, and people, you just seem more friendly. So it's not just on the camera, but off the camera, this will serve you as well.
It does, and internally we actually feel more confident too.
Yes.
When if we're upright. So I keep remembering, I keep reminding myself, but we'll see. So okay, I'm getting there. So next, it's the eyes. Okay, go for it, Lori. This is yours.
Well, eyes. This is interesting because when I look at my past audition videos from like way back, from decades ago, I make the most, or I have made the most strange expressions with my eyes. I pop them, I blink them, and I did even in that. I'm not going to make you go back and show that cheerleader shot where I was acting, but my eyes are like really big because I was way over the top, and it actually worked for that role. But at any rate, it was your eyes should be natural. Try not to over blink. Try not to just make odd expressions, but connect with the camera. When you're talking with your audience, they're there. That's you guys in the camera, right? Or even when I'm speaking to Anne, I might look at her face on this Google Hangout, or I might look, directly in the camera as if we're in the same room together. So where your eyes are is where the connection is.
Absolutely, great point. So you have to also understand if some people naturally blink a lot.
Yeah, I do.
If you have, I do as well. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize how much how fast, the intervals were until I saw one of the first videos. So I consciously slow down the blinking. Part of it is when you're nervous, you blink a lot. So, by slowing down your blinking, you're actually calming yourself down. But the other is your audience. Whenever somebody is blinking a lot, it makes us feel uncomfortable.
It does.
Yeah, it makes us feel like they're nervous. If they're nervous, it makes us nervous. So part of the reason why people blink a lot, especially if you're in a TV studio, the lights are just much, much brighter than in your own studio, your eyes will get dry. So you can get some, like Visine or so. Yeah, take it with you and, keep it by your side, in your little carrying case on the set. So when they break, you can actually put a little drop in there, and you're good to go. So you don't need to suffer by being on camera. You don't have to give up. Yeah.
Good tip.
So okay, so now we're moving on to the thing that makes a huge, huge difference. Okay, when we are looking at the audition videos, one of the first things we notice is the connection with the camera. And now, if you only have, like sort of the headshots that we have, what we have to go by is the expression on your face. So you need to be animated. And interestingly enough, a lot of people don't realize that what they're feeling doesn't always show up on their face. What's that song? If you're happy, tell your face, or let your face know. And so here's a great exercise. You can do yourself. Now, there are a couple of ways you can do this. As a matter of fact, during our live event, we love doing this exercise where we pair you up with somebody else, and we give you specific expressions to make with your face, and your partner has to guess what it is. And the first time we do the exercise, they get about 50% of it. So most of the time, when you think you're expressing, you really are not expressing, or it's not coming across on your face. So once we go through it once and then do it again, they get about 75%. If you do it a third time, they get basically 100%. So this is something you could easily, quickly learn. So the first thing you probably want to do is get in front of the mirror and make facial expressions like you see, the images that are in front of you, you can easily see what she's feeling. You know, she's horrified, she's excited, she's bored, she's everything. She's a drama queen. She's got you see all the different expressions. So get on in front of the mirror and do that. Once you feel like you've got it down, videotape yourself.
Very cool.
Make the same expressions and then play back. Then by that time you should be pretty comfortable. So the first time, don't torture yourself. Do it in front of the mirror, and then the second time you can gauge, by the video playback. And so Lori, then I know you have a lot to add to this one. I wanted to share what we do during our live events.
No, I don't have much to add, but I did want to have you tell us who this woman is, because it was really pretty fascinating. I think people will be interested.
Oh, that actually, she is. Her name is Maura Soden. She's been a TV producer for over 30 years and a working actress. She's a character actress, and you probably have seen her on many different TV shows. And every time I turn on, there she is again, and you don't even recognize that's who she is in some of the roles, So, but like I said, she's a TV producer, and actually, they're actively looking for guest experts to get on, on TV shows.
That's great.
Yeah, I got a call from her one day. She's like, "Ann, I need a Kennedy." I'm like, "What do you mean you need a Kennedy?" So somebody had I forget who it was, but somebody had last minute they had to cancel the show, and it was somebody really,
wow.
World famous person. Only a Kennedy would do. So I said, well, let me see what I can do. I made a bunch of calls, but this is who this woman is. She is very excited about getting our experts, our show hosts and guest experts on other TV shows. So this is one of the perks of learning how to do this right and getting exposure. They're looking for you. They're searching for you.
They're out there.
Yes. Remember, you're interacting with the media every day. They're looking for you. TV producers, reporters, the bloggers, they're around you. They're interacting. They're reading your posts. So
they are. It's the wild, wild west again.
It is. It's the wild, wild west for web TV. So I love the way you talk about this, Lori, about the olden days when
this was so fascinating to me because it's so relevant to where we are today. In the gold rush, the 49ers, right, 1849 in California, there were 19,000 people living in California in that time period. Within 3 years, the population grew to 300,000. And let's not even talk about how many people live here now, okay? But at any rate, it was because of the gold rush. They were like, wow, people are making their fortunes in California, and they all came, and they never left. But at any rate, that's what's happening now. This is like the internet gold rush for web TV. It's an even playing ground right now, but the population is climbing really, really quickly, and so it's best to stake your claim now.
Absolutely, yes, it is. And so one of the things that you need to really pay attention to is that right now a lot more people are getting on web TV. We've got all kinds of new TV networks popping up. There's, of course, the Google Hangout and YouTube having your own channel. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. So what's happening as well is the audience is getting more sophisticated because literally you're going toe-to-toe against Leno and Letterman and Oprah. Come on, really, you got to think about this. They're coming on to, the internet TV, web TV, and you're actually, on the same playing field. So that means you're being compared to the pros out there. So the audience was very forgiving a few years ago, where we used to, see a video that, they would be the camera would be looking up at their nose, and they look like something out of a horror movie the way the lighting was, or they'd have the back door open with the toilet showing, and here are the gurus. Yeah. So these are the gurus that we were watching because that's all we had. We were amazed that people could actually be broadcasting their own shows. Well, now not so much. We're not as forgiving, and it's going to get worse. So you need to learn these things now. You need to get comfortable now, and practice makes perfect. So get on it now, and you will improve as the other ones start jumping on. While they're learning, you will be already way ahead in how you show up on camera, plus you'll have a lot more content.
Exactly. This is so much fun, Anne.
Yes, yes, it is, absolutely. You know, I believe we're at the end of the hour that we had set for this, and
Wow, it went so fast. You're right, we are.
yes, we are. So that brings us to the next video, what we're going to talk about.
Your scripts, your content. It's going to be a really killer episode. So I'm please tune in. We'll let you know when it's going to be showing. We'll go into detail about the hook, how to get them hooked in. That's one of the most challenging parts of writing your script. And the body, what exactly do you need to say? I'm going to tell you. And call to action, what's appropriate to use as a call to action? And what if you don't really have a way to give a call to action? I'm going to show you ways around that so you can actually get your message across and act it upon. So that's what we're doing next.
Yes, we are. So this has been an episode of Turn Your Interviews into Cash with Anne DeVere of GVN TV.
And Lori Morgan Ferrero of Red Hot Copy.
Until next time, you have an awesome day. We'll be seeing you on episode 2 on creating your copy. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.